mail too, so it goes by snail mail, so,
We're not in it.
okay.
Spring hurry.
That's
It's all during this.
no problem. Do you have any questions?
No, I appreciate it.
Good luck with it.
Good luck with it.
Thank you.
Come out, see us.
All right.
Yeah,
So, thanks, Gary.
I will definitely be back.
Yeah, you know, we like the cyclists that stop.
Yeah,
It's a great place to.
yeah, I'm definitely want to check it out.
Yeah, thanks, sir.
Thank you. Sorry about mine. Oh, last but not least, the Graduate Hotel, RH 5330368 Graduate Hotel Leasing LLC, 210 East Kirkwood.
Haven't heard anything about this.
No, this is a surprise, huh? So good morning again for the record, Alex Ittermill, Bose McKinney and Evans. Got Andrew Harris, General Manager of the Graduate Hotel, and Pablo David from the parent company, AJ Capital. As well, Pablo and I and Andrew have been working on this for quite some time, and we're aware.
We finally got the final holdout over, is what someone told me.
We did, so just briefly on this, it's Pablo David. And then also my partner Greg Hahn back there, he's shy, so he didn't want to come up here this morning, and be in the spotlight. But yes, so 7 years, we were talking about it this morning, and I can't believe 7 years has gone by since Graduate opened, and it's been there on Kirkwood. And predates Pablo, predates Andrew, predates our involvement, but just leave it at it. It got off to a rocky start with the former developers, operators, and the church as neighbors with respect to the alcohol permit. And I think probably some other issues as well. Over the last better part of 4 years, Pablo and I have been working to mend those fences with the church, both not only just about the alcohol, but also just with respect to being a good neighbor. And, you know, it's tight quarters down there, and they got a lot of folks coming in on Sundays, and we have people. So we have addressed and looked through those issues and have finally arrived at a position where the church provided their consent to Graduate moving forward, holding this permit. So there's not our application. It brings us here today. So we are pleased to be here finally. That kind of goes to the need and desire, one of the things that you all like to hear about, things we need to satisfy. Andrew can attest to it, that he gets requests all the time on, you know, you have alcohol, beer, wine in the Poindexter, or if someone wants to have a wedding reception or some sort of meeting or whatnot. And the answer, unfortunately, is no. But hopefully, if things go well today, we'll be able to answer that in the affirmative soon. So really just at looking to meet that need and desire for the permit. You know, it's a hotel, the Graduate brand. Folks have been to other Graduate hotels around the country. They have alcohol and serve responsibly. And so just looking to add that. With respect to how they'll serve, we do have standard operating procedures. This is for the collegiate division for the hotels, very in depth, been in place for a long time, last revised last summer of 24. The notice on there, they'll card anybody who looks under 40. Andrew's got a system in place in his team to make sure that everybody's employee permits and training certificates are on hand. So that if Lonnie and his team stop by, they have the information that they need to provide those folks. Great compliance record, other parts of the country because of these SOPs. In addition to the training, they have an outside group, CHG, that comes in and does audits and does kind of the secret shopper type thing to see if someone will serve, and take it very seriously to make sure that they're not serving minors or intoxicated folks. And yeah, don't need to read through all of that. We certainly can, but it's all in there. Employees know these policies, managers know these policies, and they're expected to implement and enforce them. So we don't anticipate any issues. We know it's college town, and where we're located presents some unique challenges that maybe you wouldn't have if you were, I don't know, just up the road in Martinsville or even Indianapolis, I mean, college towns, and this is what they do. You know, that's why it's the college division, and take it very seriously. And then with respect to the neighborhood, we have here for you today. I'm sure, hopefully you've all been inside the Graduate.
I had.
I know that Officer Gibson has, he stopped by for to check out the floor plan. So the first tab there is just a little bit about the hotel. If you haven't been in or don't know much about it, it's all things Bloomington. It is a nod to Bloomington, a nod to Indiana University and the broader Bloomington community, from the core to the themes to the rooms. Pretty incredible. You can see there on the second page, that crossword puzzle floor when you walk in. I just forgot the Will Shorts. Yep. So not him. Obviously, a lot of basketball memorabilia and whatnot. So really a unique and special place. And Poindexter, which is the cafe, and then will be the bar area in there. All the cookie jars. Not a local artist with the largest cookie jar.
As a lady who has a Guinness World Record for most cookie jars.
So all sorts of local touches. Again, just a nod to IU, to Bloomington, in the community. Importantly, on tabs 2 and 3, through this process, we've been able to work with Mayor Thompson as well as Senator Yoder about this alcohol permit and Graduate what we're trying to do. And there are letters of support from both Mayor Thompson and Senator Yoder for the permit. And we're very grateful to both of them and their staffs for working with us and helping us through this process. And we, of course, agree with their statements. We think that it will be good for the community, both local, larger. Property taxes have been cut. This is a innkeeper's tax, food and beverage taxes, help the bottom line, help a lot of things that the city and the county are trying to achieve. So we'll serve responsibly. We've got the consent of our neighbors in the Methodist Church, and we're grateful for that. We've had to work through that. Support of the mayor, Senator Yoder, and no one is here opposing us, so we're happy for that as well. But with that, we'll field any questions you have.
I have a couple.
Sure.
Number one, I remember when the Graduate opened, and obviously when it was built with the intent to serve alcohol. Other than the cafe, and I don't know if I'm missing it in here. Is there something along the lines of a rooftop bar or something in the works?
No, I think that was just a wrong choice of word there. I think what that was referring to is the terrace that we have, and those terraces are used for special events, whether it might be a wedding, whether it might be, a professional group wanting to have a reception there, but there's no rooftop. And as the excise officer saw, we don't have plans for that.
Mayor Thompson mentioned that in her letter with the rooftops. Again, as Pablo said, the terraces, the outdoor terrace space, certainly could have some.
It's event space more than anything
It's
else.
event space, but no rooftop bar or anything. That was something that we talked with the church about as well, to make sure that, again, we want to be good neighbors and make sure that we're not, out at all hours of the night and having rooftop parties. That's not what this is about. That's not their model. There are establishments, if someone wants to stay up till 3 a.m. and have some drinks, there are a few of those here in town, but that's not going to be the Graduate.
So you offer beer and wine at Poindexter, and then for special events, is that all you're thinking, or is there?
It'll be beer, wine, and spirits, so
Okay.
three-way hotel permit.
Okay.
And I believe, beer, wine, and spirits would be available in Poindexter. One of the SOPs, which I see a lot of these over the last 20 years. No one's allowed to serve more than 2 drinks to any customer per time. Again, it's not about being a bar. Again, there are bars on Kirkwood. We all know that. This is about really just rounding out the offerings that the hotel can provide to its customers.
What are the hours gonna be?
So currently we are open from 6:30 to 8. We'd like to expand to 6:30 to midnight, knowing that we cannot serve alcohol from to 7 a.m.
6:30 AM.
Right, because of the coffee aspect.
That's the Poindexter part of the
Point next year.
So you don't have many weddings now with the?
Our events, we have plenty of events and Andrew, I think, can relate to that, but weddings, obviously, people want to offer sometimes an open bar, sometimes a cash bar, depending on the budget and,
So that'll be a new thing. That's something you'll be doing a lot more.
Primarily, we do wedding blocks and that kind of thing, but typically the events are held off site. Because of the alcohol service aspects.
They don't have a lot of parties at graduate time. We can actually a couple this time, I'd say,
Yeah, blocks. Exactly. The Indiana Judge Association has an annual meeting and we expect, those groups who may or may not, sometimes sneak in or bring in their own alcohol. That all really, another aspect of this permit is that it adds a layer of control and responsibility of the hotel to make sure that people are not bringing in someone wants to have alcohol at a meeting or an event. It needs to come through the graduate.
yeah. No, I think that'd be a changer.
Well, one thing too, based on your location, I mean, there's one church immediately, within the parameters, but if you look at your location, you've got, I think 4 churches, because we had discussed, we knew this was gonna be on the docket, so we discussed it. Is there, and I'm just asking out of curiosity, is there any restrictions or points that have been brought to you by the church that they're concerned about or they'll be looking for?
So we've only really talked with the First Methodist.
Okay,
We haven't heard from the folks across Kirkwood. They've got a permit and fat dance and whatnot and whatnot. So we have not heard anything positive or negative. No outreach there. It's really our conversations over the last few years have been with the Methodist Church. Parking and congestion of traffic on Sunday mornings and when they have services and that's not really an alcohol component. It's more of that good neighbor piece. But part of our commitments that we've made to the church are on not having early morning, I think not serving
no
before noon.
alcohol on Sundays before noon. So it doesn't mess with their services and having people out on the
Makes
terrace.
So just, those types of we have had those conversations, made those commitments with the church. To make sure that again, we're being respectful of what they have going on in their church community and what they provide to their congregation. And I feel that we're going to be able to provide the alcohol service to our customer base in a respectful and responsible way.
My guess is you're gonna be one of the best license holders you have. You're not worried about us or money, you're worried about the church.
exactly.
Especially if they can withdraw their approval. I don't know if that is how that works. I don't look at the
I
law,
don't
but
think they can.
yeah.
They can't, but they could certainly, if just like any other neighbor or concerned citizen, if they think we're not holding up our end of the bargain or serving irresponsibly, they can show up here and let you all know what they think. And
The whole congregation sitting. Rather not.
Us too.
to that point, though, one of the, another positive outcome of this process with the church is that the lines of communication between the church leadership and Andrew and his team, and then Pablo and his team at the ownership tier are open. And so we would hope and anticipate, one, that there aren't any issues, but if there are concerns,
Yeah.
we resolve them long before we show up here.
Yeah.
And work through things.
I'll make a motion to approve.
I have a motion. Do I have a second?
And I'll second
I
that.
have a motion and I have a second. All in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? So the motion passed 3-0. Sorry about my technical difficulties. This is my
The first one.
3rd meeting with this thing.
Yeah, right. That's what it is.
I think my hotspot got hot and it just,
That's it.
it was sitting and it gave up. I think it cut off the internet. And the thing just went, hey, I don't have a signal. I'm like,
Well, thank you.
Thank you all.
Appreciate it, gentlemen. Thank you.
Happy Fourth.
Yeah,
Long overdue.
Thank you. All right. For the holiday. We will, when we get the separation of things, we'll get that.
I was gonna ask you guys, now, since it's already set up, you guys just wanna say, all right, we're approved, table service only till that gets done, then we change the floor plan. So
We
we
were
can
gonna-
set it on through.
Let me get you an updated bar. Andrew and I have talked about having a temporary bar with separation. To
Okay,
be able to be used while they're building out the bar.
okay,
In Poindexter, Pablo and I were talking about the plans for that, that may be really more, in depth than we had thought they would be.
mhm,
So I'll get you an updated floor plan showing that. And once it's in place, and then we can go that, yeah, probably have that done in the next week or so, get into the floor and get that to you. next week.
all right, sounds good.
Oh, great. You,
Okay.
I'm sorry, you're gonna chat for a second. Great seeing you. Good luck with everything. I was just saying, it's interesting that Bose McKinney is still called Bose McKinney, like just like with all the incredible changes, so I graduated from law school in 2001.
Okay, yeah.
And pretty much every other firm I interview with has at least changed names 2 or 3 times, if not just shortening the name.
Yeah.
Maybe still do the full name, like Bose McKinney Evans.
Kenny and Evans
Yeah.
still have all three, you know.
Because usually by
Given
now.
Bill Evans there, yeah. And it's Bose Means Business and Bose Public Affairs Group, so Bose, but yeah, so I was a high school Spanish teacher and I went to law school at night and got out in 2004. And Lonnie, I've known you as long as I've been doing this, about 20 years now. Clerked at Bose, through law school. And so I've been around long enough to know when everyone started doing those mergers, Baker and Daniels became Bakery Baker, and now is their Baker and Daniels are gone. The leadership, really, they looked at it and they, especially, after 2008, kind of just like, no, we like who we are and where we are, and it's attractive to go regional and grow like that, but I'm glad they did it. They just said, let's just stay focused on what we're doing. We like these Indiana businesses and privately held, and we're
Guys,
go.
I don't want to interrupt you guys. We want to end this meeting.
Oh,
Meeting adjourned, everyone.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
yeah, we've